Let's talk about why the average woman from now versus the 1990s ovulates 3 to 5 days later. A lot of this research is pulled just based on cycle length and over across large populations and density populations. So these aren't small numbers. These are numbers gathered from across the entire country from in the 1990s to the 2010s. A lot of this data was pulled from. So between 2010 and 2020. And this research was released 2020 and 2021. What was found is that women on average are ovulating 3 to 5 days later. Why this is so important is a lot of the testing that we're using to determine progesterone or luteal phase sufficiency for fertility and being able to conceive are based on the fact that women are ovulating between days 13 or 14 up to 15, but on average women are ovulating 3 to 5 days later. And this is across many women. Again, this isn't a small fraction of the population. This is like across the board. Many of the links that were found have absolutely nothing to do with women's health and everything to do with environmental health, meaning that hormone disruptors like BPA and phthalates, which are things found in plastics and other candles and scented things, also high volatility organic compounds, VOCs, which are like perfumes and different things like that. Those hormone disruptors, since they've become way more abundant in the last 20 years, have directly correlated to later ovulation. And so what's interesting is that data is not 100% true, but that we know that that's a possible factor. So what other things are those affecting, and why does that delay the ovulation, and what does that mean about overall fertility? Could it be the explanation of why fertility rates are high, or is it mainly only discuss why ovulation's later, and maybe that's throwing off timing and making it such that couples are having a more difficult time discerning? But I have a hunch, and this is just my opinion, it's not necessarily in this data, but it's something I pulled from it after reading and studying it for a while and watching empirical data. If ovulation is delayed on average 3 to 5 days more, what does that mean about the estrogen and how it's meant to metabolize, be made, and be absorbed and hit the receptors in the endometrial tissue for you to ovulate on time? What does it mean about progesterone rising at the right time? And what about not just late ovulation, but what does that mean about fertility rates, miscarriage rates, and overall hormone timing? Because we know for sure through many data and researches that I've posted about in other of my posts, if you watch my social media page, I'll discuss a lot of the data that's hold about the biochemistry between estrogen and progesterone and how you can have normal levels and concentrations of these hormones and still have irregular cycles based on timing. And this huge compilation of data also discusses timing and late ovulation. So what implications does that have on fertility rates, pregnancy, or miscarriage rates?